So the Philadelphia Eagles had some press conferences with Rodney McLeod and Jalen Mills the other day. Obviously, you know, Rodney McLeod has been here since 2016, re-signed to a one-year deal with the Eagles this year. Jalen Mills re-signed to a one-year deal this year, and is switching his position from corner to safety. A new plan, a new era, a new number 21. He used to be 31. So both of these guys had a lot to say about this system, about this secondary, and what's going to happen going into 2020. Rodney McLeod is very excited to play next to Jalen Mills this season. Thinks he's ready to play. There was really no doubt about Jalen Mills in this press conference that he's ready to play. Obviously, a little bit of the terminology is going to be different, and it's a lot different from corner. It's not the same. So Rodney McLeod, there's no doubt in his mind Jalen Mills could play next to him, and obviously the chemistry is there because they've been together for a long time. So very excited to see them two play together. Rodney McLeod talks about the newly acquired, drafted K'Von Wallace coming into the mix of this secondary, and talks about that he is a hard worker, and he is developing a voice that just by looking at him, by the way he carries himself, K'Von Wallace has a voice and a big voice in this locker room, and it really does show. Obviously, McLeod says that K'Von Wallace, you know, has to earn his stripes, has to earn himself wearing the Eagles jersey every day, and has to match his talk with his play. And I think that's what the fans are kind of expecting as well, because we can see that he has an edge. We see he has a swagger to him. But at the end of the day, his play has got to pan out as well as what he's been talking and what he's been saying and what he's been doing that is associated with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm very excited to see what K'Von Wallace brings to the table. And I think Rodney McLeod and probably the fans of Philadelphia already know that we want to see what this kid can do. Rodney McLeod said this is probably the most versatile group of corners that we're going to have this year. Obviously, a lot of guys have been playing nickel. Nickel corners are going to be playing outside, so a lot of corners are going to be switching positions. A lot of corners are going to be playing inside and outside, so expect that to happen. But Rodney McLeod talks about Darius Slay, how it's going to, you know, pretty much adds a whole nother layer to this defense. So if Darius Slay is playing zone or man coverage, you could be switching it up. But, you know, guys like Craven LeBlanc or Avonte Maddox, you know, could be moving inside to outside, as well as Nickel Roby-Coleman as well. So, yeah, you know, Jim Schwartz has to figure it out once he gets these guys on the field soon. We're only in phase one, obviously, right now. So we just need to see what happens with that. Rodney McLeod talks about the new corner coach, Marquin Manuel, says a lot of good things. He actually was with him, I think, for the East versus West game when he was coming out of West Virginia, and said that he has a lot of passion. He expects high expectations from this coach. This coach has very high expectations when he does coach. You know, he's got a lot of energy, so that's a really good thing. Rodney McLeod talks about the safety room, how much competition there is going to be. He's noticed a lot of tape. He's watched tape on a lot of these guys like Grayland Arnold from Baylor. You got Craig James. You got Rudy Ford. You have Epps on the team that we acquired from the Vikings last year, just for pretty much a late year signing. But as of right now, these safeties are going to be in a big competition with K'Von Wallace in the mix. Rodney McLeod has felt that every single year, especially last year was probably the most down year they did have. But then, you know, coming up clutch in the last month, the Eagles secondary was disrespected and couldn't do anything. And he thinks that a lot of guys, you know, put their hand in to getting into the playoffs last year. Obviously didn't get far, but Rodney McLeod says this is a very resilient group going into 2020, and a lot more depth and a night and day secondary is going to change it all. Now, not much went on with Jalen Mills in his press conference. They were saying a lot of outside football questions, really. Rodney McLeod got most of the really important questions, but Jalen Mills pretty much talked about switching positions, you know, kind of giving the story on how he played safety. Hasn't played safety, obviously, since college, and only played safety for 2 years in college. You know, he played, I think, his first 2 as corner, his last 2 as a safety. Jalen Mills kind of saying that a new freshman safety came in, didn't play well. They ended up moving Jalen Mills to safety, and he played very well. Jalen Mills talks about the virtual meetings with all of the safeties, just the whole in the cornerback room, that the guys are joking, they're laughing, and they're getting along very well. And then finally meeting in person, the chemistry is building, and can't wait to compete with a lot of these guys. But Jalen Mills just says, you know, I'm switching positions. It's not different. I used to play it, but it's going to really help a lot just in case, God forbid, something happens. I think the last time you want is Jalen Mills playing the cornerback position, but God forbid if something happens, you can always put Jalen Mills at corner. I think this pass rush is going to mask and camouflage some of this secondary, even though I think that Darius Slay and Nikel Roby-Coleman is going to make a huge impact in this secondary with Will Parks moving at safety as well, which I didn't mention earlier, Will Parks. So there are a lot of pieces in this secondary. And Jalen Mills thinking the switch from cornerback to safety, he said it's not really that new to me. It's really going to be something that's, a technological term, just learning this defense a little bit more. The calls, I think just the calls are a little bit different. Who you're communicating with is a little bit different. But really, he's not making a big deal out of this huge switch, but he knows competition is on the line. Got to earn that Eagles jersey, got to earn those stripes, and like I said about Rodney McLeod, saying pretty much the same thing about the competition. It's all going down the line. So let me know what you guys think about this Eagles secondary. Rodney McLeod, are you expecting a big year for Rodney McLeod, or do you think that he could be beat? Do you think Jalen Mills can get beat out of the safety position by Kavon Wallace or somebody else like Grayland Arnold from Baylor or something like that? Kind of want to hear what do you guys think about that. So I will see you guys later. Shake Squad up, Flyers fly.